Okay, let's start with a wild idea. What if reality isn't something we just live in, but something we're actively, well, building? What if the flow of time, that thing that feels so constant, is actually just a local phenomenon, not some universal law? We're about to dive into a seriously mind-bending new theory that could change everything we think we know about cause, effect, and our place in the cosmos. So, this whole journey starts with a problem that has been nagging scientists for more than 100 years. It's this deep, fundamental conflict at the very heart of physics, and it kicks off with a thought from one of the greatest minds in history.
That's right, Albert Einstein himself called this out. See, according to the laws of physics he helped write, the past, present, and future, they all exist at the same time. But that's not how we experience the world at all, is it? And that creates a massive disconnect.
And this really frames the problem perfectly. On one side, you have the reality of physics, this idea of a static block universe. You can think of it like a movie reel that's already been filmed. Every single frame from the beginning to the end already exists. The story is set in stone. But then on the other side, there's our reality, the one you and I live in, where time flows forward, where our choices feel like they actually matter, and the future feels wide open. So how can both of these possibly be true?
This huge gap between the physics textbook and our everyday lives, well, it leads to at least two really profound puzzles that have left scientists and philosophers scratching their heads for decades. And these aren't just little details. We're talking about questions that get to the very core of our existence.
So, puzzle number one is the big one, free will. If the entire universe is just this giant, intricate machine that's unfolding based on a set of fixed laws, where does real choice actually come from? Are we just incredibly complicated dominoes, falling exactly as we were always meant to? This new theory we're looking at has a very specific take on this.
It proposes something called Knightian freedom. Now, this isn't your garden variety randomness, like flipping a coin and getting heads or tails. No, this is an uncertainty that's so profound, so fundamental, you can't even put a probability on it. It's from this raw, unmeasurable potential that the theory says all true novelty, all genuine choice is born.
And if free will wasn't a big enough headache, puzzle number two throws us into the absolutely bizarre world of quantum mechanics. It's called the measurement problem. You see, a quantum particle can be in a whole bunch of different states at once. It's just a blurry cloud of possibility. But the instant we measure it, the instant we look at it, it seems to snap into one single, definite reality. Why? Why does just looking at something force it to make up its mind?
The proposed answer comes with, and I'm not kidding, one of the coolest names ever, a problem that is necromancy hard. Now, this isn't magic. It's all about computational limits. The theory suggests reality snaps into place because trying to reverse that process is so mind-bogglingly complex, it'd be like trying to resurrect the dead using a pocket calculator. For an observer like us, it is, for all intents and purposes, impossible.
Okay, so we've got these two massive cosmic puzzles. How do we even begin to tackle them? Well, a new theory called the Causal Patchwork of Emergent Genesis offers a way forward, and it does it by breaking our reality down into three key building blocks.
First up is building block number one, the free state. You can think of this as the universe's raw, untapped potential. It's this huge cosmic reservoir of that deep, Knightian uncertainty that's been hanging around since the Big Bang. It is the ultimate source of everything new, kind of like a blank page just waiting for a story to be written on it.
But all that potential doesn't do anything on its own. It needs something to turn it into reality. That's where the second building block comes in, the causal engine. Now, this isn't just any old system. It has to be complex enough to do the job. We're talking about things like a living brain, an entire planetary ecosystem, or maybe, just maybe, a future AI that's advanced enough.
And when one of these causal engines gets to work, it creates our third and final building block, a causal patch. This is basically a bubble of stable local reality. It's inside these patches, and only inside these patches, that time seems to march forward, and the laws of cause and effect as we know them actually hold up.
So we have the parts, right? The free state, the causal engines, and the causal patches. But how does the whole factory actually work? How are our reality, our sense of time, and causality itself literally put together?
This process, called emergent genesis, unfolds in 4 steps. First, a complex system, a causal engine like a living thing, comes into being. Second, it reaches out into that cosmic free state and grabs a spark of genuine, unpredictable novelty.
Third, it performs an irreversible action, that necromancy hard task we talked about, which takes that tiny spark and blows it up into a macroscopic event. And finally, boom, a stable, local causal patch is born, creating its very own private arrow of time.
This completely flips our idea of causality on its head. It's not just a simple chain of dominoes falling one after the other. It's more like a harmonization across all of time. A choice you make right now doesn't just push the future forward, it actually creates a coherent story that connects the raw potential from the beginning of the universe with all the outcomes that are yet to come.
So if this theory is even close to being right, the consequences are, well, they're staggering. It doesn't just tweak a few equations in physics, it totally reimagines our world, and, more importantly, our role in it.
I mean, just think about what this means. Free will stops being a philosophical debate and becomes a physical ability, the ability to kick off a brand new chain of cause and effect. Time isn't some universal constant. It's a local feature that pops into existence wherever there's enough complexity. And your identity, your consciousness, becomes tied to your unique, unclonable history of choices. You could never be perfectly copied or uploaded because you are your story.
But here's the kicker, and this is maybe the most exciting part. This isn't just some cool, abstract thought experiment. The causal patchwork theory actually makes specific, concrete predictions that scientists can go out and test, right now.
And these predictions cut across different fields. In physics, you could look for quantum events that don't have a recent cause, but instead trace all the way back to that initial free state. Astrobiologists could hunt for a connection between signs of alien life and planets that got blasted with a lot of UV radiation, the energy that might be needed to kickstart this whole process. And in the world of AI, we could even design a test to see if a machine is just calculating or if it's genuinely creating something new, becoming a real causal engine.
And all of this leads us to one final really powerful question. This theory doesn't see us, or any life, as just passive spectators watching a pre-written cosmic movie. No, it casts us as the very engines that write the script and build the stage, one choice at a time. So if we really are the architects of reality, that leaves us with the ultimate responsibility. What kind of reality should we choose to build?